Hello?
I am so fucking scared right now. What is that?
A port of Luigi's Mansion 2. Well, that isn't very scary. Hey, look, a receipt of purchase. Oh, fuck!
Oh, mamma mia.
Oh my god, it's Luigi. From New Super Luigi U!
Whoa, take it easy, my guy. I'm not gonna hurt you. My name's Miko, and I'm a YouTuber.
A YouTuber with less than 1 million subs.
Babies.
Say, Luigi, I've got an idea. I was about to do a Schizo Rant on Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and I think you should join me.
Mamma mia.
Ah, come on. Hey, come on.
Hey.
Come on. Coochie coochie coo. Coochie coochie coo. Come on, Luigi. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. It certainly is. What is your favorite feature of this overpriced port?
Well, they put the HD in Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. The graphics are high, and this is definitely the way to play.
That's great and all, but have you ever considered using an emulator to achieve similar results?
This interview is over.
Oh my god, sir! Put that down! Put that down! Luigi's Mansion 2 HD has been an enigma ever since its announcement. It was absolutely made to follow the success of Luigi's Mansion 3 and the Mario movie, being announced alongside Mario RPG Remake, Peach Showtime, and TTYD. But as usual, Luigi gets the short end of the stick.
Hey, Luigi.
Fuck you!
After TTYD's release, there was just a period of time where LM2 HD was the only first-party Nintendo game left for the year. And they just forgot to advertise it? Like, the one guy in charge of advertising forgot to press the pre-launch material button.
Hey, Eric, just checking up. Did you publish those advertisements for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD? Yeah, of course. I've been on top of it. Ah, sweet. Good stuff, my man. That's why we pay you the big bucks. I'm gonna head home now, so I'll catch you around next week, eh? Have a good one. Haha, yes, of course. Stay safe. Hey Siri, what the fuck is a Luigi's Mansion 2 HD?
People were understandably upset because Nintendo was not giving any reason to rebuy this port for $20 more than its initial 3DS release price. Not me though. Personally, I was over the moon. The Dark Moon. They gave Luigi omnidirectional movement with the poltergust! It's worth $60! Then Luigi's Mansion 2 HD finally came out. And how was it received? Not very well.
It's not that bad.
Actually, I'm about to fucking blow your mind, Luigi.
Wait, what?
LM2 is my second favorite game of all time, right behind the first Luigi's Mansion, of course. It is a game near and dear to my heart, and shaped a lot of my tastes. And it was also the first game I ever purchased with my own pocket money. Best 40 bucks I ever spent. And let me tell you, Luigi, I was ecstatic to purchase this game again all these years later. This time for $20 more! Ecstatic!
Let's first talk about LM2 HD's major selling point. It's HD.
Finally, a reason to live!
LM2 had a unique art style that tore apart the Luigi's Mansion fanbase. Instead of nitty-gritty, exaggerated realism, it opted for sharp geometry with more basic textures. Say what you will about the change in art direction, but you can't pretend that Luigi's Mansion 2 looked bad. It was one of the most visually impressive 3DS games because it worked around its handheld limitations. But I'll give credit where credit is due. I think for the most part, this port looks really fucking good. I feared that simply slapping on higher detailed textures wouldn't mesh well with the 3DS art style, but I'm happy to have been proven almost wrong. I say almost because I'm not going to pretend that every bit of this port got the love and care it should have deserved, and I also would not compare it to the graphical fidelity of Luigi's Mansion 3, which I don't think is a fair comparison anyway. They're two completely different beasts. I gotta say, the lighting looks really good, gives a whole lot of pop to the colors in the environment, but something that bothered me my entire playthrough every time I looked at it was Luigi.
Oh well.
What did you just fucking say about me?
You look ridiculous.
Oh, I look ridiculous.
Yes.
Well, at least
Yes,
I don't look
naman
like
sa
I'm
robot
a gas.
Like a fair amount of things in this port, it looks like Luigi's model was ripped straight from LM3 instead of the original being remade to match the updated visuals. Which is a fucking cardinal sin in my opinion, because LM2's model is one of Luigi's best. Look how cute he is! Oh my god. And then you check his HD counterpart and oh my god, kill it with fire! It's the fucking eyes, man. He's seen some shit. Bro shot up some heroin behind the haunted towers. His pupils should have been made bigger. Also, he looks really pale, and because of that, the lighting never looks right on him. Something else that bugs me are a couple of animation changes. In a lot of cutscenes, Luigi's eyes don't move around like they did in the original, and it makes the timing of some animations and jokes look off. Speaking of off, Luigi no longer has his mouth open in fear when running from ghosts. He doesn't look terrified anymore. He looks like he's in intense thought. Like he's wondering if he left the oven on at home before he got pixelated to Evershade Valley.
Why did they feel the need to change that of all things? I'm talking, bitch.
Here's another useless change. Look at this barrel rolling in Mission D4. Okay, now look at it in the HD version. This has to be a mistake, right? Like, they accidentally flipped the axis of the barrel or some game development shit that I don't know, because how did they fuck up something that was completely okay in the original? Want to know an example worse than this? Okay, so they actually went through the effort of making a new cutscene. One. Just one in the whole fucking port, but here it is. Aw, isn't it so cute? Look at those greenies, they're having so much fun sliding down there. Wrong! In the original, there were no ghosts swimming here yet because that wasn't how the waterworks of the haunted towers flowed. Next level games knew this. It goes bam bam, then bam. Not bam bam bam. There was effort put in to create a new pointless cutscene, but they couldn't even remove Mario's painting from this cutscene. This one really annoyed me when I was a kid. It shouldn't be there. King Boo, you didn't bring that new Boo Voodoo to this port, I'll tell you that much. Okay, that's enough bitching about the visuals. Actually, just a couple more nitpicks.
Mamma mia.
Egad looks E-bad. It's another case of ripping straight from LM3, but it works even less. He just looks out of place, and it grinds my gears way more than it should that he isn't lip-synced like he is in LM3. Why does Luigi get fully lip-synced, but not Egad, who just non-stop yaps his mouth to you the whole game? Actually, that's just false information. Nerd emoji. Actually. I feel like the personification of the nerd emoji reading this script. I love it. I'm being such a bitch, but I need to. Anyway, what I was saying was that sometimes Luigi gets lip-synced, but then other times he just doesn't. It's really inconsistent, and it makes me wish that they just didn't bother trying at all, because you could at least argue it was a part of the original 3DS version's less detailed charm that there was no lip-sync. Now it's only a half-done job. Okay, I got all my visual problems off my chest, so let's talk more positive for a moment. They may have added fuck all to this port, but that fuck all has some merit. The options menu gives a lot that is left to be decided in the original. You got motion control settings that adjust the sensitivity. I know I joked about it before, but the ability to change a vacuuming orientation is such a nice addition. It was always tedious to have to stop, turn around, and then re-vacuum where you wanted to, and no longer having to rely on X and B for up and down. Luigi's Mansion has always worked better with the second stick, and it also looks way better with darker visuals. Yeah, I know darkness filters are meant to be used to calibrate the best visuals for your TV, but as soon as I see that shit in a Luigi's Mansion game, I drag that option all the way down to the bottom level. I love it, man. It's so dark, it's so spooky. And I'm really glad they added it to this Luigi's Mansion that could have used an extra boost in the creep factor. Well, these minor additions are all great. What else did they add?
Nothing.
Oh, I mean, you can skip EGAD's calls now, albeit a little bit clunky. You have to answer them first, then hang up for some reason. Oh, and like the ability to skip mission intros when you are viewing them for the first time, that's really good. But apart from that, nothing else really. Okay, this section's kinda gonna be a bitch fest about things that I wished were in this port, which isn't really applicable to a HD re-release, just my personal grievances as a Luigi's Mansion fan wanting more. It is I, a greedy consumer. First up, let's just talk quality of life improvements. This port could have used a few more. I think about how the developers behind this port also handled Skyward Sword HD, and they did a great job handling the original's mishaps with updated improvements. But LM2 HD seems to lack that care. Look, I'm this game's biggest defender of the amount of times you are forced to talk to this old geezer. But even I think it's ridiculous that there isn't an option to decline his calls. At the very least, couldn't they have made it like the bonus missions where you're still communicating with EGAD, but have full control over Luigi? Another gripe, did we still have to have a run button? I didn't even know why this was a thing in the original when the circle pad was fully capable of emulating analog control. It was also exhausting to have to hold the button down while juggling X to look up and A to strobe bulb if you wanted maximum control over Luigi. Oh yeah, developing arthritis was always my favourite feature of Luigi's Mansion. Boy am I glad nothing changed. Didn't want to feel comfortable playing your game, Nintendo. Making B no longer be the run button would also fix a very small complaint I had with the original game, where the camera would point down when you press B. That's fine for environmental puzzles that involve looking at the ground, but because you are always going to be holding down B to move quicker, the camera angle will almost always be pointed slightly down. And that pissed 9-year-old me the fuck off when he first noticed that. So, if you wanted to play efficiently and get the most flattering cinematography of the game, too bad, go fuck yourself, then go die. Fucking idiot. Where is Gooigi? I miss my new mate made out of jiggling goo. It hasn't been the same since the accident.
Luigi! No!
This is now the only Luigi's Mansion game without co-op in the main story mode, and that sucks. It really couldn't have been that hard. Multiplayer was already built into the game. It would have also made that price tag a little bit more acceptable. Not completely, God no. Also, no hidden mansion. This game is so butt fucking easy after playing it for 11 years. Just remixing ghost spawns in each room or adding skyscraper variants to the rooms in the game would have been the absolute bare minimum. Turns out you can go lower than that. Oh look, nothing. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a no good bitchy customer asking too much of Nintendo. I just wish they added a couple more things to entice people like me who paid full price for it 11 years ago and did it again for a fifth more than what it was originally retailed. But you know what this game did add? Oh my god, there are more bugs in this port than on the outskirts of the old Clockworks. The original version of Dark Moon was already a little bit rough around the edges, but Dark Moon was like a newborn baby. There's a lot of forgiveness for its flaws, as it's only new to the world. Wait a second, I hate babies! You know what? I'm gonna be a very brave boy and just say it. The original version of Dark Moon was a bit of a buggy mess. Now, this was in part due to rushed development, and also because it was Next Level Games' first attempt at a 3DS game. So you won't go more than 5 minutes without some audio glitch or weird physics problems in the environment. But that's fine, right? Because this port is now a chance to iron out all those problems. So, how did they do? It's a pretty mixed bag of fixes, though from what I've seen in my own run-through of the game and other people's playthroughs, a lot of minor visual bugs have been cleaned up. On the surface, it does seem better than the 3DS. I'm also glad they fixed the fuck ton of animation glitches in EGAD's lab, considering how often you spend time there. But they still couldn't fix the visual discrepancy where Luigi gets pixelated and he's wearing a belt that he only ever wore in the pre-release builds of the game? Really?
What a sick joke!
Again, this is what I mean. I feel crazy with this script because I'm the only person noticing these little details no regular consumer is going to, but this shit matters to me. I love this series, man. Then there were some baffling choices to not fix. Why does Luigi's arm still go limp when calling out and interrupt some animations? Why does the poltergust nozzles still sometimes merge together? And then the weirdest thing of all, I think they invented new bugs for this port. Sometimes in the mansions, and I don't know what causes this, the soundtrack will just loop on itself. And I swear it never once did that in the original, but now it's like all the frickin' time.
Not cool, man.
A music glitch I experienced in my own streams was the library piano music not playing for some reason when first entering the library. One of the most iconic pieces of music in this series, and it was gone fishing the day I was playing. Wow, it's the definitive way to play! Pests will freeze in their animations and tween around, which is funny, I'm not gonna lie to you. But still, I'd prefer if it didn't happen. This one really gets under my skin. EGAD's lab theme now consistently starts up almost every time you hit the mission cleared screen. This only ever happened once in the original, and that was A6 boss. So I'm pretty sure it was a mistake, but now it's a mistake in every single mission.
Thank God.
Oh, and the sound effect for sand falling now plays on this screen in Mission C too. Where are you going, Luigi? Come back. Look, I know these are such minor nitpicks, but I feel like barely anyone has been pointing them out in their reviews of the game. Okay, time for my final thoughts. Wait, no, forgot to talk about animation problems I have. Go back to part 2. Please, please go back. Thank you. On the surface, it seems like all the cutscene animations were just ripped from the 3DS version, but Luigi himself actually has some animations tweaked, and I don't quite agree with all of them. The putting in the book cutscene in E3 isn't as exaggerated. It looks so stiff now. And this cutscene was actually a really good example of the 3D effect on the 3DS. It made it look so funny. I just don't get it, they toned it back so much. Like, go all in, make his face look contorted like the original. Why is it... Why? Why did the scenes with freeze frames still exist? On the 3DS, they were kinda charming paired with the simplistic art style. But you've gone through the effort of visual upgrades and even reanimating scenes, yet basic little idle animations couldn't have been made to make them look less jarring on a home console re-release with a much bigger screen?
Phew.
Hey, when you love someone, sometimes you have to tell them how it is. I want you.
I think a cutscene that just sums up all my problems with this HD port's presentation is this one during Into the Nightmare. The perfect storm of fuck-ups. And this is one of my favorite cutscenes too, so oh god. In the original, Luigi looked pissed off that the Possessor Ghost runs off again. This is great because it is in line with his very subtle character growth over the game where he is slowly gaining confidence. But that confidence gets tested when Luigi realizes the absolute behemoth he has to fight. In the HD port, he starts off the cutscene already looking scared, so fuck it. A small change, but it significantly alters the mood of this scene and flanderizes Luigi's character. This is a side of him I missed in LM3, where he would get annoyed at some of the antics that he had to face. Instead, it feels like the only negative emotion he's allowed to express is being scared, and he feels so one note now. Dark Moon, I would argue, had the best interpretation of Luigi, and a port that is designed to celebrate this game's existence actively diminishes that character. That sucks. Again, it's small, but it means a lot to me. Okay, and now check out these shots back to back. Why? Why the change? Again, I have to ask, is this a visual bug that wasn't ironed out before release? But if that's the case, then that's not a conclusion I'm thrilled about. So this really fucking cool cutscene just gets kinda ruined. So, time for the final verdict. Is Luigi's Mansion 2 HD worth buying?
No.
And that is a damn shame, because I love this game so much, man. But Nintendo is giving no reasons to buy this version, and I completely understand why people have dismissed this port. It's not worth it, and that hurts as a long-time Luigi's Mansion fan. Finally, this series got the recognition it deserved with LM3, and that crowd will continue to grow. But having the second game in the series that came out a decade ago on inferior hardware be haphazardly re-released at the exact same price as its sequel on Switch? That is absolutely ridiculous. And this is one of my favorite games of all time, but even I can't defend this. No one in their right mind should buy it. But I don't blame him if you want to. I did. More polish should have been done, Gooigi co-op added to the main campaign, and bundled in with Luigi's Mansion 1, so the whole trilogy could have been on Switch. That could have justified the price tag.
But if you weren't going to do that, then this port should have had its price lowered by like half. How come Metroid Prime Remastered, which had a lot more effort put into it by the way, was retailed $10 cheaper? It's because it isn't a part of the Mario IP, right Nintendo? You wouldn't have been able to get away with it, unlike how you thought you could for the Green Man.
Huh?
And you know what pisses me off the most? The timing of this port. They shut down the 3DS and Wii U servers earlier this year, and along with that, made LM2 Scarescraper officially unavailable. But with this port that you pay $20 more for than the original, you can play Scarescraper again. As long as you shill out $30 for a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, for something that used to be free to play online. That is actually disgusting. Fuck you, Nintendo.
Go fuck yourself and then go die.
Fuck you, Jimmy. God. You know what?
Nintendo making this port be like,
These consumers seem unreasonable. Don't worry, they're still really gullible. Kinda wanted this port to be less failable, but your Pro LG was unavailable.
What the fuck is going on?
alright, we're at the end of my ramblings. Thanks for bearing with me. I know so many of these changes and problems are such minor nitpicks and legitimately do not affect the gameplay of this port. it is definitely a serviceable way to play this game. I don't know, I just felt like I owed it to Dark Moon. I grew up playing this game over and over and enjoyed every single pixel of its craft the developers brought to this screen. So to point out the shortcomings of this port, I felt like it was my must. This is what I was born to do. It's not my ideal Luigi's Mansion game in this day and age, but it is in no way a bad game. And I wish more was done with this re-release to showcase how special Luigi's Mansion 2 is in its own right. But c'est la vie, I guess. Not the world we live in.
Alright, that should be every complaint I have.
Ah, mamma mia.
Yeah, there's one more.
The minimap is a great addition, but I hate the way it's implemented. Specifically in the bonus missions. You know how in the 3DS, EGAD would give you the lists of the rooms and you could just easily look down to the map while you were running on the top screen? Like, it was so fluid. Obviously, you can't recreate that accurately on the Switch with one screen. So it's really clunky. You have to like pause the entire game, which is really slow, and then move around slowly on this map to find the rooms that the ghosts are in. But here's the thing, they actually made a better version of this minimap in Scarescraper. All you have to do is press the minus button and it gives you a display of the whole floor like a hologram, like it did in Luigi's Mansion 3. So why isn't this how it's implemented in the main game? It seriously ruins these bonus missions because they used to be about going as fast as you fucking could, but now it's so slow and it actually makes them less enjoyable to play. Bonus bitch! One last thing I do find funny with the performance is the frame rate. It's locked at a consistent 30 FPS, which for some reason is a thing you have to pray a Nintendo Switch game is capable of when purchasing it. Nothing wrong with that, but I do find it funny that in the original, there were a couple of moments where the game, for whatever reason, would allow for 60 FPS. I'm talking very few cases, but I just think it's funny that the 3DS somehow outshined the Switch in terms of this small performance factor. Okay, sorry, back to the video.
Oh man, it feels good to get all that off my chest. It was eating me alive, Luigi. Eating me alive! I might be able to sleep at night now. Wait a second. Are you trying to say that there's something wrong with me?
Yeah.
I wouldn't stress it. I used to take these kick-ass tablets years ago that would completely mellow me out. And I've just found out that several years later, they're back up on the market. This time, retailing for $20 more. With a bargain like that, you're surely guaranteed quality. Why do I keep trusting multi-billion-dollar companies?
Mamma mia. Sorry. Wah! Woohoo! Ono petoro kono petoro pokono petoro.
Miyamoto? What the fuck? Holy shit. There's a quote in this book from Miyamoto saying, "So you know, cats are interesting. They are kind of like girls. If they come and talk to you, it's great. But if you try to talk to them, it doesn't always go so well." Fucking Miyamoto the Rizzler. Holy shit, that's awesome.